Now let's dive deep into this big LGBT plus story for today. I'm Dale Stein, and let's queer up entertainment. Aubrey Plaza opens up on grief and Amy Poehler podcast. LGBTQ Ally and the community's favorite actress, Aubrey Plaza, has stepped back into the public eye for the first time since losing her husband earlier this year. The beloved queer favorite joined longtime friend and fellow Parks and Rec star Amy Poehler on Poehler's podcast, Good Hang, where she spoke candidly about grief, healing, and what it feels like to move forward. Poehler opened the conversation with tenderness, telling Plaza, quote, "You've had this terrible, terrible, tragic year. You lost your husband, you've been dealing with that, and you've been looking for all different ways in which to feel and find support. On behalf of all the people who feel like they know you and the people who do know you, how are you feeling today?" End quote. Plaza paused before answering, quote, "Right in this very, very present moment, I feel happy to be with you. Overall, I'm here and I'm functioning. I feel really grateful to be moving through the world. I think I'm okay, but it's like a daily struggle, obviously," end quote. She went on to describe her grief in vivid terms, comparing it to the 2025 film The Gorge. She said the imagery of cliffs and monsters in the movie resonated with her. Plaza added that her grief feels, quote, "like a giant ocean of awfulness that's like right there and I can see it. Sometimes I just want to dive into it and just like be in it. Then sometimes I just look at it and sometimes I try to get away from it. But it's always there," end quote. All over the world, queer people and allies are praising Poehler for starting the conversation with empathy and tenderness. Her new film, Aubrey's new film, Honey Don't, is hitting theaters August 22nd. This is the kind of conversation that I find to be very important, very moving, and very brave, because these are the things we tend not to talk about so much. Have you watched Amy Poehler's podcast at all? It's quite wonderful. It's really wonderful. I've watched a few guests. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I haven't watched this particular episode, but I'm going to now. And I think Aubrey Plaza is a wonderful actor. And when your partner, and everyone knows that your husband, rather, has committed suicide, I think it takes even more bravery to be bold and outspoken in how you're feeling in your grief. So kudos to both Amy Poehler for her podcast and Aubrey Plaza.
It humanizes it, I mean, you listen to the experience. I personally don't know, I can't recall anybody in my life dying of such a tragic death, but I've had tragic deaths in my life. So I know what that process is like, and I know that it takes time, and sometimes it's a daily thing. Sometimes, you're just a mess, and sometimes, you're okay. So it's good that you see that people are just checking in right away with the person that they're interviewing. Amy Poehler is fantastic for doing that, humanizing it for us, and relatable. So yeah, it's something that I'm going to definitely tune in to look at as well.
Yeah, my heart goes out to Miss Aubrey. I'm also fretting anything like that happening to me personally. This sounds like one of the most tragic things that could happen to a human being, when you finally find the love of your life, someone you've just outright decided you are mine until the very end, and their life, through whatever means, is cut shorter than yours. You never want to outlive your loved ones. You just never do. You never want to have that feeling. And I think the way she described her grief painted a very clear picture. It's never going to be completely okay. You actively have to make the choice to continue living, to continue doing, to continue working, creating. Then there's always the option of, like, I could just sit here in this grief and just wallow away. But, like, it's your decision to make, and that decision is always there. This is a truly frightening instance that happened. And Aubrey, never met you, but you have my support. This is so heartbreaking, so very heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's I just missed the AIDS crisis I call it the Holocaust in New York. I'm probably about 10 years younger than most of the men that I know that lost so many people, their partners, their friends, and maybe when I was about 35, I lost somebody to suicide who I had a lot of feelings for, and he worked in South Florida and bartending, the gay bars world, and it was really devastating to deal with that. And it was 1 year after I had lost my mother, and actually losing him was something that kind of snapped me out of the grief that I was in before, realizing how young and how much more life that some of our gay brothers and sisters had left to live. So I think maybe it resonated a little bit with me, this story of just the gay community and how often we lose people way too early and how that affects our community. So my heart goes out to you, Aubrey.
And with that, that is a big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ plus stories by subscribing to and sharing Queer News Tonight.